What is going on, guys? It's King Tuts Pro and welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. In today's tutorial I'll be clarifying a few stuff that a lot of you guys have been commenting in the comment section, and I want to really clarify a lot of stuff and a lot of mistakes I have previously made in my Photoshop tutorials, and I want to make this as basic and simple as possible for you guys that are sort of new to Photoshop. And these are the 7 most common, most frequent things that I see in the comments when I make a Photoshop tutorial. And I'm sorry that I really went fast in my Photoshop tutorials for beginners. I just really want you guys to learn and how to use Photoshop, because that's what I like to do. I like to help people know how to use something just as much as I would. So here's an image of these two, I guess a couple, or whatever. I don't know. They're just enjoying the beach. And the first is the move tool. Oh, and before it gets started, if you could take a millisecond of your day to leave a like, that will be awesome. And that just shows me that you guys want more of these videos. And my schedule for my videos is Monday and Friday. And if you guys want a specific time frame, because I upload in the mornings, then please tell me in the comment section below. But anyway, out of that, yeah, so the most common is the move tool. So let me go ahead and zoom out. So when you import an image, of course, I'm not going to show you, well, I guess I can show you the shortcut, but okay. So the first one is the move tool. So when you import an image, so you go over to File and you go to Open, or Command O, or Control O if you're on a PC. So every time I say Command, it's Control on a PC. So just keep that in mind. So you import the image and you want to go ahead and move it. Well, this is probably one of the most common mistakes that people do, is they would just click and drag it and they want to move it. It's going to say Photoshop, it's going to bring up a window, and it's going to say could not use the move tool because the layer is locked. Now, if you click OK and you see over in the, onto the right side, you're going to see a lock icon, and that's on the layer that's selected. It says background. That means that you cannot move your image until it is unlocked. So pretty much when you import the image into Photoshop, Photoshop's telling you, no, before you can move anything, you have to unlock it so you can allow access, in other words, okay? So in order to unlock it, all you have to do is either double click the layer itself, make sure it's in a blank space. If you double click the background, where it says background, the text, it's gonna allow you to rename it. And if you double click the icon, that's gonna do something else as well. So if I do that, it's gonna bring up this. That's if you have like a clipping mask or something like that. But if you have it like this, that works too. But you can take the safer route just by clicking right here on an empty area. So it brings up a new window and it says new layer, name, blah blah blah. You can give it a name. I'm gonna name it beach, if I can type correctly. And then color, you could just, I don't know, you could choose whatever color you want. This is, I think, for Macs only. I'm not sure. I think this is for Windows as well. I just haven't used Photoshop in forever on Windows. So mode, just keep everything the same and click OK. And that will unlock the layer. So now you can move it and do whatever you want with it. You could transform the image, but I'm going to tell you that later on, okay? I'm kind of going in order from the most frequent mistakes, I guess, to the least. All right. So now you can move the image. So another way of doing it is by actually, that is actually the only way you can move it, but you can make a copy of the background. And to do that, all you have to do is go over to you could click and drag the layer. So your layer is selected, click and drag down right here, and it kind of looks like a sticky note. So you drag it on there and you let go, and that's going to make a background copy. So that pretty much makes a copy. So now there's another layer on top of that, which will allow you to move it. So it literally made a copy. Okay, so that's all it did. You could also just delete the background if you don't want that anymore. Press delete, and kaboom, boom, it gives you the same result. So that is another method. Again, another method is using the shortcuts, but I'm gonna get that out of the way earlier. So now, once you have, you can also rename it just by double clicking on your text right here, and I'm gonna name it beach. Cool. So here it is, beach. They're having a great time. And if you want to lock the layer again, all you have to do is click this lock icon, and now you don't have to mess with the image. So if you're working on top of the image or whatever, you're not going to be messing with it. So that is very good. Cool. So if you want to unlock it, you can simply click this right here, or you can just click on the layer there, or actually on here. Alright, so now another thing is to transform it. Now I know I use shortcuts a lot in Photoshop. That's because I use Photoshop a lot more than probably you do. Shortcuts are not as they're not hard to use. You just have to get used to it. And the more you use Photoshop, the more shortcuts you will know. And that will allow you to move faster and use Photoshop much quicker than normal. But if you guys don't like to use the shortcuts, or just really want to know how to do it without the shortcuts, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that right now. So if you want to go ahead and transform the image, or make it smaller, make it bigger, whatever you want to do, all you're going to do is, the first method, of course, is not using the shortcut. So you would go over to the menu. Again, if you're on a Mac, this is going to be exactly the same. If you're on a Windows computer or on a PC, it's going to be a little bit different, but the layout should be the same. So go over to Edit, and make sure your layer is selected. So if you have a lot of layers, so say I have like, I don't know, 3 layers and I have one selected and you don't know, and if you go over to Edit, and let me go ahead and fill that with black, just so I can go ahead and show you guys what that will look like. So it's black, and say I don't know what layer it is. Say you have a lot of layers and you're working with Photoshop. You go over to Edit and you want to go ahead and transform it. You go over to Free Transform, and that's pretty much Command T or Control T on a PC, and that will allow you to bring up the transform tool, I guess. And so now what this will do is it'll allow you to transform the image, but you can see that's not what I wanted to transform. I wanted to transform the beach icon here, or the layer. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you have the right layer selected. So I want beach, select it, and then transform it. I'm going to delete this layer. By the way, if you want to enable or disable, you're not deleting the layer. You're just gonna enable or disable the layer visibility. You can just click on the eye right next to the icon, and I will just kind of disable it for now until you check it again. So press delete, make sure your layer is selected, go over to Edit, and then go down to Transform or Free Transform. You could also go to Transform, and then it gives you other other tools that you could use within the Transform. So this gives you pretty much more options. Free Transform allows you to transform everything. I'm not going to go into that. I think I already made a video on that. If I haven't, please tell me in the comment below, and I'll be glad to make a video on it. So now you can, transform it to however you want. A lot of people, now this is a lot of mistake a lot of people do, and it's when they want to make the image bigger, all they do is they just click and drag, and they want to make it, say they have a smaller box or whatever the box is, and they want to fill it in, or just so it fits right. What you're doing is you're changing the orientation, not the orientation, but the way the image looks. I can't really explain it really, but you're just changing the way the image looks, and it's not going to look good if you do that. So what I would recommend is holding down the Shift key. If you hold down the Shift key and you click and drag on any of the corners, you could also do the top, or actually, no, you can't. Can you? No. That's a bummer. Anyway, you hold Shift on any of the corners and you click and drag down or up. It doesn't really matter. It will stay proportional. There you go. That's the word. Proportional. So you can click and hold Shift, and what I'm doing, I'm holding Shift first, and then I click and drag. And this will allow me to make the image either smaller or bigger. And I don't know why it's doing that. It's very annoying. So say I want the image to be like that. Maybe I want it a little bit smaller. I swear it does not do that. Photoshop. Why does it do this? Anyway, so say I want it like that. I'll click the check mark. So when you click the check mark, or you, press Command Enter or Control Enter, that will confirm that you want the image to be like that. If you don't do that, if you go to another tool, it's going to say apply the transformation. You have to click apply if you want it to stay that way. If you don't, it's not going to stay that way, and you have to do it over again. Just keep that in mind, okay? So click the check mark or press Command Enter or Control Enter to confirm that you want it like that. Now this does not crop the image. If you press Command T again and I zoom out using the Command minus or Control minus, or going over to view and then zoom out or zoom in like that. And you guys know how to do the transform, Command T, Control T, going to edit. You get the idea. So yeah, so by the way I move around is I hold down the space key and I just click and drag. So yeah, so you can see it's not cropped because there's apparently a window or the margin of the picture. So the next one is the hidden tools. So when you want to, like, say I want to use a brush tool and I want to, I don't know, paint, or no, the text tool. Okay, I click on it and I want to use the vertical text tool, or the option to say I want to write something like vacation down to the left side of the image. Well, you can select, oh my gosh, it's slow. You can select text and Photoshop. Okay, there we go. So you click on it and you want to go ahead and type. So say, I don't know, vacation. But I spelled that wrong. There we go. And yeah, I spelled vacation, but it's not vertical. I want to use the tools. There's more tools within the text tool. More tools. Yeah, that makes sense. So click the check mark to confirm it, or Command Enter. And I'm pressing V to go to the move tool. So that will allow me to move it. So yeah, it's this tool right here. But anyway, so I have vacation, but that's not what I want. So I go over to text. I have to click and hold on the icon there. Click and hold, and you can let go if you want. And then you could select vertical type tool. And I'm gonna go ahead and select that. I press Command A or go over to edit, and then where is it? It should be select all. Yep, there you go. Select all, and or you can just highlight everything within this right here, and you're gonna have to retype it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. So you have to select the tool first. If you don't, you're gonna use that tool. So you click and hold, and then you want to use a different tool. Then you click on that. It's kind of like a subdirectory or like a subfolder. So now I can type in vacation. Whoa, vacation, and I'm gonna click the check mark. I'm gonna go over to the move tool, and I'm gonna move it down just like that. See, not that hard. And so yeah, if you guys want to know which layer you're working with, so now they both say vacation, but I don't know which one. Well, if you click and the eye, this will allow you to disable and enable the layer visibility. That way you could see which layer it is. So I'm gonna delete this one. Cool. Now the zoom tool is another problem a lot of people face, and they want to know how to zoom in their image. There's, I think, let's see, 4 ways of zooming in, or 5. So the first one is using the shortcuts. And the shortcuts are probably the easiest way of zooming in. You hold down Command if you're on a Mac, and plus or Control plus if you're on a PC, and that will allow you to zoom in. If you want to zoom out, and by the way, hold space to drag around the image and click and drag. If you don't, it's going to move the whole layer. So keep that in mind. But if you want to zoom out, you hold down Command and minus or Control minus on a PC, and that will allow you to zoom out. If you want to, say you're zoomed in and you want to see the whole image on your screen to fit the screen, you hold down Command 0 or Control 0 on a PC, and that will fill the image to your screen, or fit it to your screen. Another way of zooming in is going over to the View menu on the top, and you go down to zoom in, and it gives you the shortcuts on the sides right here. So zoom in again. Again, this is very time consuming if you're going to be zooming in. So this is not very, I don't know, if you guys want to take the safe route, you could do that, but I don't like it. I like using shortcuts because it speeds up my workflow. Now another way of doing it is by using the zoom tool. If you guys don't know what the zoom tool, it's pretty much, it looks like this. Looks like a magnifying glass. So you click on that, and there's only one option really, and you can click and drag. The first option is the plus, and you're going to see the plus on the magnifying tool, or on the magnifying glass. And you click and you click again. No matter how many times you click, it will zoom in. And if you want to zoom out, you hold down Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC, and that will allow you to zoom out. So, using all the shortcuts, you have the space to move around. And if you don't hold Alt or Option, that will allow you to zoom in like that. Pretty cool. Hold on Alt or Option, Alt or Option, and that will allow you to zoom out. Pretty cool. You could also, because you're within the zoom tool, you could say you're zoomed in. You can see fit to screen and fill screen. You got 100%, you got scrubby zoom, zoom all windows, resize windows to fit, and then you have the plus and minus tools. So say you're zooming in and you want to zoom out, you could easily click over here and just drag out or click to zoom out. If you want it to fit to screen, you click on this and kaboom. Or if you want to fill the screen, you click this right here, and that will fill the whole entire screen, which is, it's okay. Depends what you're working with, really. The next one is the shortcuts. I pretty much told you the shortcuts, really. I made a video on that already. I'm gonna go ahead and post an annotation right now on the screen. Click on that, and that will take you to the video where I'll show you guys the most common and useful shortcuts in Photoshop that could speed up your workflow. And another one is making a copy of your layer. And this will, help you in case you mess up with the layer you're on. So if I go and see beach right here, that's the only layer I have, and then I have the text layer, which is this right here on the side. If I select beach, the layer, and I click this, so I select the layer and I press Command J or Control J if you're on a PC, or you could easily click and drag it and click and drag the layer to the bottom right here, and that will make a copy. Another way you could do a copy is by going up here, and it's going to give you like an arrow, and then it has lines, 4 lines. You click on that and it says duplicate layer. You select that and that will make a copy of your layer. And you can also change the name as you do it. So say I want to name it couple beach, I guess. I don't know. Document, you can keep it within the same document, or you can make a copy of that layer, the one you have, the layer you want to make a copy of, onto another document that's currently open. So Shutterstock, that's the one I'm currently on, and I click OK, and that will make a copy of the image in the same document. So I really don't want to confuse you guys. I want to make this as simple and as easy as possible. So that's pretty much everything that I really have to go through or to teach you guys. And it really is not hard when it comes down to Photoshop. If you guys really when you want to make something really cool in Photoshop, you have to take the hard way. It's gonna be hard, but the result is gonna be amazing. It really depends how skilled you are in Photoshop and how much you use Photoshop. But you get better every other day or every day, okay? And so stuff will not magically appear. I can't really explain it. But in other words, you really have to use Photoshop to know all the tools and stuff. You're gonna have to play around with it first, and then once you start playing around with it, you know how to use the tools and stuff. Then you will start to know the tools and how to speed up your workflow and use Photoshop to make images. So if this helped you in any way, then please leave a rating below. That really puts a big smile on my face when I see you guys leaving a like and commenting as well. That just shows me that you guys really do love these tutorials and you take your time to comment as well. So yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.